Hello students in M4. Today I will present you about the contents that you will learn in mathematics for the next 3 years, right? In M4 to M6, you learn about 14 units. To begin with M4, right? M4 has about 6 units. The first one is set. The second one is logic. The third one is real numbers. The fourth one is relation and function. The fifth one is exponential and logarithm function. And the last one is geometric, analytic, and conic sections. In M5, you will learn about 5 units, right? As same as your level, right? The first one is trigonometry function. The second one is matrix. The third one is vector. The fourth one is complex numbers, and the last one is probability. Finally, in M6, you have only 3 units, right? The first one is sequence and series. The second one is pre-calculus, and the last one is statistics and probability distribution. Okay, so the next question is about what fundamental skills that you should have before to learn math in the higher secondary level. Okay, from my experience and my suggestion, I think you should have good skills about algebra, right? In multiplication of algebra, factorizing of algebra. So if you are good at about this algebra, such as perfect square formula, you can solve about equation and equation that are most popular in, you know, that not only in the lower secondary level, but in the higher secondary level it is also popular. It is quadratic equation, right? That you know about its formula, that if you have equation ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, this equation, and your answer x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, and all of this divided by 2a, right? Can you remember this formula? Right, about quadratic function, it is about the basic equation in the higher secondary level that you should have sharp skills about this to solve it quickly from your suitable method. Factorizing using formula or factorizing by perfect square. You can use any way that you think you are good and it is suitable for each problem, right? So a part of algebra and equation, skills in plotting graph, because in higher secondary level a lot of units need to plot graph, such as exponential and logarithm function, trigonometry function, pre-calculus. You need to be good at plotting graph, and the graph that you need to be very good from the lower secondary level is parabola. And parabola is the graph that can use to solve quadratic equation too, right? If you can remember about parabola. And parabola that you will learn is very important for pre-calculus too, because in pre-calculus parabola is often used, right? To the next question, which unit in the higher secondary level that you should be good? Okay, the first one is real numbers. In M4, you will learn deeper contents about real numbers that you learn in the lower secondary level, because you will learn to solve more difficult equation than the M2 or M3 or anything else, right? You will solve harder equation, but you need to have basic knowledge from M2, M3 or M1 or anything, right? You need to be you need to solve equation quickly, right? And about the theory of polynomials such as factor theories, right? Remainder theory, and about the absolute value, you learn about the new things such as absolute value and solving absolute equation, absolute inequalities, right? That you will use about their properties to solve them. And the next one is relation and function. In this unit, I think you should have knowledge about set, because relation is about from set A to set B, right? In M4, if I say that this one is relation from A to B, it means that the X or the input is the member from set A, and the output or Y is from set B. Sorry, it is or are, because we may have more than one pair, right, in these relations. So you need to have knowledge about set before, right? And the function is the relation that x can be paired with only one y, right? So this property will be used so much to consider that this one is function or it is only relation. And the function you will learn next in the exponential and logarithm function. In the lower secondary level, you learn about exponential, but in M4, you will learn about its function, right? It is how to plot graph, right? Because in the lower secondary level, we don't have the definition of function, but in M4, you will learn this in the previous chapter that I say, right? It is function or not. And function, there are various types of function, function 1-to-1, function into, function onto, and the property that function inverse is only function 1-to-1. You know the reason that why to be like this from the properties or definitions that you learned, right? And the function is also about plotting graph, because in geometric analytic and conic section, you have about graph, right? Graph that from linear equation, right? Parabola in M4 is deeper than the lower secondary, because they have about components, and they also have a shape that this shape is relation. This shape are relations, or this shape are functions, and also about ellipse, circle, and hyperbola, right? In this unit, you need to be good at plotting graph. Also, in trigonometry function, you need to be good at plotting graph too, because we have function sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec, cot, right? About six functions, and then six functions. How about the function inverse of them, right? Function inverse of them. Why do we need to consider or make a domain and range be like this? Because if we don't do like this, it is not function, because trigonometry function is not function 1-to-1 for all domain, right? So from this reason, that you need to understand about the definition of relation and function for clearly to understand about the next function easily, right? And also from trigonometry function, right? In M6 units, right? You can see that it has only 3 units, but I will say that in M6 it is the most important year, right? In 3 years, because in 3 units, these are most popular units that when you are in M6 and you test at TCAS, right? These 3 units are the most popular units that you should have good knowledge and skills if you want to get high score, right? And also these 3 units are used in your future, right? When you go to the university, you will surely use them. Use them much or not depends on your faculty, department, and university that you entrance to. Okay, so that is the future. But now in M6, sorry, not now, no. M6 is your next 2 years. In M6, right? You learn about sequence and series. That you will have 2 main words about arithmetic and geometry, right? You know about their formulas, how to find their formulas, right? And how to consider them that they are divergent or convergent. Okay, and the next chapter is the most important, right? Pre-calculus. The first theory of calculus is about limit, right? Limit is the theory that we will consider that this function. Okay, so we know that some functions maybe don't have their domains to equal to set of real numbers, such as rational function, right? Rational function, you know that their numerator must not be 0, for example. But in that point, it is true that we cannot find their exact value. But in the very near point from the left hand side and right hand side, we can find them. So this theory is called limit, and limit is developed to continuity and derivative, and also anti-derivative, right? That you will learn. And calculus in M6 that you learn is very basic, fundamental, and you will see about all main points of calculus that will make you understand to solving them and to solve them. And the last one is statistics, right? Statistics in the lower secondary level, you have learned for some, right? For about basic. But in M6, you will learn about deeper because we have about probability distribution. It is the content that the points that new course content about it. So you need to have skills in probability in M5 or in the lower secondary level to do this unit, because we will consider about how statistics and probability are related, right? So how about the other units that I didn't say, such as set, logic, metric, vectors, complex number. Okay, so about set, logic, I think they are about the basic, right? You don't need to have much time about learning them. I think if you can understand their formula, because their formulas you don't need to memorize all of them. I think you can do these 2 units. And about the metric and vector is the unit that they don't related to other units. So if you can understand them, you will have comparative advantage when you compare to your friends, right? And the last one is complex number that I didn't say too. Complex number is the set of numbers that are bigger than the real numbers. In some equations, such as x squared plus 1 equal to 0, you say that, oh teachers, we don't have the root of equation in the real number system, but in the complex number you have the answers. So complex number in M5, I think in higher secondary level, because the depth of knowledge is not enough to see how to apply them. But if you learn about, if you in the future you learn engineering, you will use the knowledge of complex numbers in such as electricity or anything else. So you can see how to apply them. But in M5, you need to learn about their properties, right? Such as conjugate, how to plot graph, how to make polar form, anything else. Okay, in conclusion, I will say the skill that you need to have again. The first one is the knowledge in the lower secondary level about algebra, slowing equation, especially quadratic equation, parabola, and exponential rules, right? The second one is about in M5 you will learn about trigonometry function that we have have wide range of formulas. So you need to use Pythagoras, right? Quickly from M2 that, right? M2, right? And about probability and statistics, I think if you have two basic knowledge from your lower secondary level, you will learn in M5 and M6 easier, right? And in M4 to M6, the units that you should focus, because they are the roots of the other units, are real numbers, relation and function, exponential and logarithm functions. And in M6, I advise you to pay attention for pre-calculus and also statistics and probability distribution. Okay, I hope this video will help you see image that in M4 to M6, what content in mathematics that you will learn. Okay, so I hope you enjoy learning math in M4 to M6, and good luck. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.